tale of Iolo ap Hugh. Iolo ap Hugh. He was the wandering fiddler, joker, trickster, riddle teller of the town. He would go and he would tell to whoever wanted to hear his tales. And when they were tired of hearing the old stories that they had heard so many times, out with his fiddle. And up and down the bow would sweep, and his fingers would dance. And how the music played. And the people would tap their feet and smile. And then the little girls would start dancing, and then the boys would join, and then all the grown-ups take to a partner and dance. Iolo ap Hugh, so talented, everyone agreed, kind, but brave as well. He also wanted to prove himself, and that was his own danger. I was sitting one night in the chimney, my wings fluttering and flapping behind me, blown by the breath of the little sparks that flew up from the fire. I wasn't bothered by the smoke. I danced round and spun with it, avoiding its grasping fingers, listening to the talk of the men below me in the inn, the clink of their jugs and the slosh of ale, their raucous laughter ricocheting up the chimney, and I listened. And I heard Iolo. He had just put down his fiddle, and he was saying to the young girl at the bar, "Pray, I'm going on a journey tonight. Do you have any candles? I need £7 worth." "Oh, yes, sir," she said. "Yes, I don't know how many we have, maybe not that many, but I will go have a look for you. Yes, of course." And she went and she looked. When she was looking, she thought, "Goodness, I'm afraid I won't have enough for him." But just as she was looking on the shelf, she found how many? £1, £2, 4, 5, 7. £7 of candles. £7 worth. And she thought, that's strange. Oh well. Being a girl brought up with tales of fairies, she thought it's almost like magic. And then she laughed to herself. No, I'm being silly. She walked back to Iolo and said, "Here you go, £7 worth of candles. I didn't think we'd have enough." And he smiled. Thank you kindly. Also, bread and cheese. I don't need much, for I'm not travelling far." And she smiled, and she brought him as much as she could carry, for everyone liked Iolo ap Hugh. And she gave it to him, and said, "May I ask, if you won't take offence, sir, why £7 worth of candles? It is not as if the gale blows too strong." And I listened, and I heard the patter of raindrops outside, and I whispered to the wind. And at once the gale blew up stronger than ever, billowing and roaring, and the barmaid shivered. "It's almost as if the storm heard me," he smiled. "But of course I'm being silly." And he said, "Well, thing is that even if the night may not be dark, and even if the wind is strong enough to blow out all my many candles, I'm going where there will be no wind. I'm going into the sheltered cave." And there was only one cave in that area. And all the farmers looked up from their drink, and the girl, she said, please don't go in there. It's dangerous. Just don't. You'll be risking your life, please." "Look, I am Iolo ap Hugh. I am the trickster, riddle maker. I am the fiddle player. You can't stop me." And all the farmers said, "No, but no, the fairies live there. The queen of the fairies, such an evil being. Take this silver knife, take this iron. It will ward off the fairies and keep you safe." But Iolo ap Hugh said, "There are no fairies in there. There are no fairies in there. I will not take your puny charms." And up in the chimney, I gritted my teeth to hear him. There are no such thing as fairies. What would he know about us? And one of the men said, "Don't go in there. Listen to what I say. My father He had a pack of hounds, and he was chasing a fox one fine sunny day, and the fox ran into the mouth of that cave. And do you think the hounds followed it, eager as they were, caught up in the chase? But no. They stopped. They wouldn't go in there. Cringing, they whined, stumbling over their paws and yelping. And then the fox, it had vanished into the dark mouth of the cave, but it quickly must have turned tail and fled right into the pack of hounds. The barmaid, being a kindly girl, gave a small gasp, for much as she liked the excitement of a fox hunt, she always felt sorry for the poor fox. And the farmer smiled at her. But this thing was so strange, he said. But did the hounds attack? Did they follow their nature? Did they follow their master's order? No. No. They, once again, cringed back and snapping, but they didn't attack. For this fox, it carries with it the smell of sulphur. The air's bad down there. Believe that, if nothing else. Well, said Iolo, thank you for your advice. And yes, I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in devils. I don't believe in witches. I don't believe in magic. And he spat the last two words out, fierce, picked up his fiddle, and left. And I sped up to the chimney and away like a brightly glowing spark. I could see him making his way down the hill, and once more I whispered to the wind, and it blew up such a gale that it tore tussocks of grass up from under his feet. The rain lashed down, scratching great gashes against his face. Still he went on. The hard ground turned to a muggy mire of water. He couldn't see his hand even when it was 2 inches in front of his face. But he knew the direction he was heading in, and he walked on. I whispered to the storm, "Force Hugh far to our cave, and we will teach him a lesson." And the wind blew hard at his back, and blew him right into the mouth of the cave. And Iolo stopped and said, "Well, here's a merry thing. I had been blown by my friend the wind right into the cave." And I smirked to think of how silly he was. Then he said, "Well, I think I shall play a tune to bring my spirits up and douse the fairies' magic." And he started to play. Such a merry tune it was, fiddling away, but I started to sing, and with me all the fairy voices started to sing, and all of us kept a tune behind him. And he stopped for a minute, and at once we were silent. And he frowned. Funny, I could have sworn I'd heard voices. He called out, "Little people, little folk, little men, are you too scared to come out and face me? Or are you just not real?" And he spoke in a taunting sing-song voice. And then he smiled, and he started playing again. And so did we. And this time, when he stopped, we continued playing. And suddenly, it was as if he was the audience and we were the fiddler, for his feet were tapping, and his knees were knocking, and his hands were clapping, and his mouth was stretched into an insane grin. And then he raised his fiddle and started to play. He played all through the night, and he played all through the day, through the night, through the day, through the night, through the day. For 13 days and more, he played non-stop. And we never dropped the tune, nor let him rest. And in the end, while we were watching him play, he staggered and fell to the wall. It would only take another night. And we were right. One more night, and our revenge was complete. That would teach him. Never, ever mess with the fairy.